you have to understand you have these 5 cravings and you're going to have them satisfied somewhere. I think there's only one place you can have them satisfied, and that is with your maker. But I'll consider it a win if people will disagree with me on that, but say they finally realize, okay, I have these 5 cravings, I have to go satisfy them somewhere. And then I say, go for it. That's the place to start. Know what you're looking for, and then go look for it. Because right now, people don't know what they're looking for. They know they're looking for happiness, they know they're looking for peace, but they don't know what that is, right? And I'm saying I can tell you what it is if it's security, identity, independence, significance, innocence, all at the same time. That's the thing about it too. I can feel super secure in my home, secure in the arms of the person who loves me. I can know who I am, right? But if someone puts me in prison, and hinders my independence, I don't have peace, right? All of them have to be satisfied simultaneously. So they are 5 cravings, but ultimately they're one.
And your view is the only way to satisfy all 5 at once is through your maker. Like there's no other way. So people, if as long as they go on the search for it, they keep searching, eventually they'll end up in that place.
And that's the beauty. And if I could bring a little bit of my faith into it, I would say, and that is the beauty of free will, is that your maker has said you have free will. Go do what you want to do. However, in his love, he placed these cravings inside of us. It's kind of like I call the book the magnetic heart of God. Right. Ultimately, we are going to run in all these different directions, but those cravings can't be ignored, and they're going to suck us back, right? And I believe that God did that in his love for us, right? It's kind of one of those things where, as a parent watching my child, I want them to have strong, independent ideals and different things like that. But ultimately, I want them to be safe. Right? And God has placed this magnet inside of us, right? So that we don't wander off a cliff. There's always that pull back to him. And some people spend their entire life fighting that pull, insisting, nope, I will find significance in my career. I will, right? But the day will come when it's like, yeah, you experienced it for a while, but it's gone now.
Yeah.
I wonder why that is.
I wonder why that is. Well, let me ask you this as we're coming towards the end, Cory. What is it, again, for people because there are people out there that are skeptical, that are at least stated as atheists, or just, when you say walking with your maker, right? I think that was the phrase you used. On a day-by-day basis, what does that actually mean for you? Is it following the gospel? Is it, is it, what makes it tangible for you? And then B, the effect of that is that gives you the sensation that those cravings have been met when you do that. So probably the more important question here, but just curious, is that the effect it has? The cravings are still there, but it feels like I'm feeding those cravings through this.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
That's where they're satisfied. And it's not, I do not say this as a flippant statement. Just believe in God and everything's going to be good. No, right. There is there's also a nature inside of us that rebels. Sure. And seeks to drive away. So we do it to a certain degree. I would say that the old image of like Satan or the devil with a pitchfork and a tail, like that's just mythological, crazy stuff. But if I could just philosophically use the old image of like an angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other, whispering in our ears, it's like, what are we going to choose? Well, that's kind of a silly image. I would say that in actual practice, there is, to a certain degree, inside of us, those two things. There is that pull towards, no, I am going to do this my way. I am going to, and then the pull that pulls us, back to our maker. And so I do believe that there is a war going on within each one of us to a certain degree.
So what does it look like for you to be pulled towards your maker when you do it the right way, or whatever phrasing is used? Like, what is it? How do you know you're walking with your maker?
Right. Well, again, for me, and this is the conclusion that some people can't accept, and I'm okay with that, as long as you can understand these 5 cravings. Yeah, for me, I believe that ultimately the will of God is where peace is. That's been my life. I've gone through times of great poverty. I've gone through times where I've been highly recognized. I've gone through times where people have betrayed me. I've gone through times where I can say I now know the hurt of what it feels like to be the betrayer. Right? I've experienced many things in life, and the anchor for me that holds me, that kind of gives me peace and assurance in the midst of all of it, is knowing that I was created by a good God who loves me. And when I acknowledge that his intellect, his will, his kindness is greater than mine, but that he welcomes me to tap into his will and his greatness and his kindness, right? That is where I find satisfaction for my cravings.
And maybe last question. I'm going to press on it just because it's the nature of the show and it's what I like to do. Like, do you? I'm sure you do. You're too well read. You've explored this too much. Even in what you just said there, which I think is a beautiful sentiment, and I think I'm evolving to a place where I understand that there's going to be people that hear that and they're like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like, you're just saying words that are nice about God, and like, it's just what actually are you? What does it actually mean? And I've come to believe, and tell me what you think. Like, it's hard to put into words. It's hard to articulate what you're trying to express in words and get somebody to understand it unless they've experienced it. But what do you do with that for the people that say, I still don't know what that means? Of course, I'm on board. The 5 cravings are there.
Yeah.
I want to meet them. I understand it's non-biological. It's walking with my maker. Tell me how to do that. How do I actually walk with my maker? Is there no answer to that question that could like be prescribed to an individual person that says this is what you do? It's different for each of them, or is it just something that can't be described in words? Like, how is it?